So just recently, the US government's official inflation statistic just came out. Inflation is now at 9.1% according to the CPI stats, and something that is annoying me is how people talk about this. The language that they use around this. They say things like, oh, this is crazy, this is insane, this inflation is out of control. It's not out of control. It's not out of control at all. In fact, this is going according to the plan of the establishment, and this is what all fiat currencies do. If you have a ruling class of people that can push a button and put anything they want into their bank account with zero recourse, zero punishment or consequence, and they have a monopoly on counterfeiting, what do you think they're gonna do? They're just gonna keep printing the money until it goes to nothing. This is so freaking obvious. It was obvious to me when I was a child, and I've been speaking about how inflation is going to ramp up year after year and will just get worse and worse over time. Of course this is going to happen. In fact, this death spiral that happens with fiat currencies has played out so many times before. There has been no fiat currency that has actually not gone to zero. In fact, the average lifespan of a fiat currency is 27 years. Some exceptionally long-lasting fiat currencies, such as the Great British Pound, is still down by over 97%. So inflation isn't out of control. In fact, it's very much in line with what any other currency throughout history has ever done, that is fiat. I don't even like the word inflation because it's not very accurate to what is happening. Even worse is quantitative easing, which is just like the most vague and nebulous term. A more accurate term for inflation, I think, is state monopolized counterfeiting, because that is exactly what it is. If a private citizen were to do what the Fed does, he would be arrested for counterfeiting, right? Like you're creating a note that is used to be for exchanging into a bank for precious metals such as silver and gold. It was like an IOU note, but now that means nothing. Like if you take paper notes into a bank and ask for silver, they'll just look at you like you're insane. So they can just make this up out of thin air when they have no intention of paying back anybody for this fiat currency. This is just counterfeiting. This is monopolized counterfeiting by the state. This is not out of control. Inflation has only just started. There are some late stage fiat currencies that we can see playing out just now. In Turkey, the inflation is about 80% a year. That means the average person in Turkey is losing around 80% of their wealth every single year if they don't put their money into some kind of asset. That is a direct wealth transfer from the poor to the ruling class. I mean, this is the real scam. Like, fiat currency is the real scam. Like, forget all this like little rug pulls and nonsense and stuff that people in crypto are up in arms about. Fiat currency is the most successful scam in human history. It has caused the most disaster and is pretty much responsible for the absolute bloodshed that was happening in the 20th century. You know, before, the ruling class were limited in their bloodlust by having to pay their soldiers in gold reserves. Now they don't need to do that. They can just print whatever money they want, and look what happened. Soon after fiat currency became popularized, we saw World War II, not to mention all of the terrible regimes that happened in the 20th century. Fiat currency is just absolutely diabolical, and it is absolutely by design. It is supposed to take money from the people and transfer it to the ruling class and their cohorts. This is the point of fiat currency. This is not out of control. 9.1% is just scratching the surface. We can see with Turkey, it can go up to 80%. It can go up even more in countries like Venezuela, and it will go up even more. This is the death spiral that happens with every fiat currency. US dollar isn't any exception.